Welcome back, everybody, where I found a picture of Paul's phone since he didn't want to share it yesterday.
It's not that pink.
Yeah.
It's more of a tan, off white,
Is it?
maybe manila.
Is it?
I think it is.
Well, you'll be happy to know the blue complexion is also fixed on my end, and I will
Yeah.
tell you what I did to fix it.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say I rebooted my computer.
No, I don't even honestly think I did that. No, actually, I did reboot. I did.
Technology.
Magic. But I can tell you that a certain technology company posted some decent earnings yesterday, and they.
You mean eBay? Yeah, big numbers for those guys.
They get a couple
Oh,
options.
you meant Facebook.
Yeah.
Sorry, who were we referring to?
Tesla. Tesla had a good day yesterday. Oh wait, no, they didn't. Microsoft actually posted what, 30 billion in revenue. Little over 30, actually over 30 billion.
30.6 maybe.
Yeah, they had some over 8 billion in net income.
Yeah.
Bunch of about 1.3 billion in Surface hardware sales, if I remember correctly. And
I kind of look at this as kind of average for them, frankly. I mean, this has kind of been where they've been tracking.
Yeah, I mean, they've been pushing. They keep pushing up north, and their valuation, their market share, I should say, briefly crossed the $1 trillion valuation for a little bit there, and
Their market cap.
yeah, market cap. Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yep.
See, it looks white, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe it might just be your white balance is off a little.
I don't think it looks. It's not pink. I mean, it's. And I'm going to keep telling myself that. And I
If
don't
that
care
phone
what-
is not pink, then I am tan. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
And also keep in mind that Windows continues to be the bedrock of Microsoft's revenue.
Right.
At least a very stable portion that's, just been nice and mostly flat, a little up this quarter, but it always just provides a whole bunch of money that starts everything else.
Yeah, consumer PC sales. I should say Windows revenues from consumer PC sales we're only down 1%. I think business PC sales through PC makers were up. I think it was 8 or 9%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there you go.
Now, do you think that's related? It's got to be related to probably companies dropping Windows 7 and moving towards Windows 10, I would think. I mean, this is kind of like the prime, get out now or forever hold your dollars before Microsoft takes them for extended service contracts.
Yeah, and this speaks to that prediction I had made a few months ago where I said I don't think the bump from Windows 10 is going to be this enormous tsunami of upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, 8-9%, whatever the figure was, is not humongous. It's growth. I mean, for sure. But I think that's how it's going to track. I think every quarter now for the next year and a half, we're going to see high single digit growth overall from the Windows 7 upgrade. I think that's I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and over 180 million commercial Office 365 subscribers, over 100 million, they said, seats for, I believe it was their mobility suite of stuff.
That's right. EMS, yep.
Yeah. So large
Which,
numbers
by the
there.
way, more than doubled year over year.
Which that is significant growth, and I'll be curious to see how long that keeps tracking. There's no way it's going to keep growing at that rate. I mean, that is insanity.
Right. I think what that speaks to is Microsoft 365, right? So Office 365, like EMS, is a component of Microsoft 365. So a lot of the people who may have migrated from Office 365 to Microsoft 365 didn't impact the numbers for Office 365 because that's part of it. But now they're new to EMS. And I think what they didn't really, I don't think, I haven't looked through the transcript for the post conference, the first earnings conference call yet, but I don't think they spoke specifically to Microsoft 365 numbers. I assume this is only a matter of time, but for now, what you're seeing is a really big uptick in the one part of that suite that really wasn't broken out before because it was kind of a small business, but now they're seeing big growth there because I think Microsoft 365 is starting to take off.
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it appeared to be a pretty healthy quarter for Microsoft. No big like holes, if you will, where you look at something and say, eh. I mean, gaming was a little dicey there.
Yeah, this is, yeah, they've been getting lucky because of Fortnite, but like console sales are down. They're going to be down again this coming quarter. They were down last quarter. I think that's, just where we are in the life cycle with Xbox One. It's not because it's terrible. It's just, where they're at.
We're how many years into it? They did say that there's 63 million active Xbox Live, which is a pretty healthy number for that quarter. It was up about 4 million year over year.
Yeah, down from the previous quarter, which, normally isn't a fair way to measure things. But you would think something like active users on Xbox Live would just kind of trend in one direction. But I guess it sees seasonal bumps.
I wonder if it's related to a bunch of people get consoles and they get a month free or whatever. And then it just fights away. And some people buy gold and most people don't, I guess. But having an Xbox without Xbox Live Gold seems...
it seems pointless. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So.
Yeah, no, you're right. Overall, it's good. Surface was up strong, I would say, year over year. I didn't look too much at the cloud stuff. When I do short takes, I'll do more of a breakdown of some of the other stuff. But I did find it interesting. I mentioned this on Twitter that in addition to their normal financial disclosures, they released a document that was like, here's the new products and features we released this quarter. I was like, what? I've never seen that before.
Kind of nice.
And what's that? Yeah. And actually, Frank Shaw told me they had done it twice before. I look at their earnings so closely. I don't understand how I missed that. But I went to, I didn't do it with this intent and purpose, but I ended up, it makes a compelling case for Microsoft's focus on business over consumers, right? Because what I decided to do, because it was on Thurrott, was just, well, let me just list out the stuff that they released that impacts consumers, like pure consumers, or at least individuals, right? And there's only like 5 or 6 things in there that kind of qualify for that. In fact, if you look at the Windows heading in that document, you could make the argument that none of it applies to individuals at all. There were advances for developers and business-related things, but there really weren't any like end-user big news type things in the quarter. And that's kind of interesting because when you go over the entire list, there's like 137 items in there or something, and the vast majority of them are, in fact, business-related. So it kind of helps make that case. If for some reason you're on the line about whether or not Microsoft is walking away from consumers, it might be helpful to look at this document, and actually maybe the previous two as well, and kind of see how things are tracking, because there really aren't a lot of things going on in the consumer space when it comes to Microsoft.
Yeah. One thing I will point out is that Microsoft highlighted, and they do this quarterly, but they have 3 core businesses, right? They have productivity and business processes, very lucrative name, intelligent cloud, and more personal computing, which is always an interesting name to me, but whatever. On average, each of those business units does roughly $10 billion in revenue. It's pretty evenly split. Point being that Microsoft is far from like a one-trick pony, and that's why they continue to be around for so long, is that if one org drops, it doesn't take the whole ship with it.
Yeah, I made this comparison with Apple a few months ago where, Apple is very much the iPhone company, right? And so I don't know where the exact number is today, but in the previous quarter, revenue-wise for Apple, iPhone directly was something like 62% of their revenues. It had fallen. At one point, it was like I think it was 70-something at one point. But if you look at if you add in services, which I think you kind of have to, because services to me are indirect iPhone revenues. They only exist because of iPhone, for the most part. It is over. It's like 75% or whatever the number is. It's pretty high. Obviously iPhone is a healthy, successful business, but the smartphone market is where it's at, and things could change, and that makes them vulnerable to, having just one product. If it stops selling well, I mean, they're kind of screwed. It's why they're scrambling to release all these services now. But like you said, Microsoft is a much more diverse company, and you could even break it down below the business units themselves. If you just look at something like Azure, I mean, what are there, 1,000 Azure services? I mean, if some initiative somewhere in Azure doesn't take off, they're going to be fine, because they have all this other stuff. It's fine. And that to me is the sign of a healthy company. So
yeah, I think their Azure revenue was up about 73-ish%, somewhere around there. Continuing to see strong growth. No big surprise there. Their Dynamics revenue was up. It's it was just
I don't think
genuinely
anything
a
was
good quarter.
down. Was anything down? I mean, it was like, if you look across everything they mentioned, it was like server and online services.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of it was up. I don't know. Seems like they're doing all right.
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, that's
They'll be okay. They'll be here in another quarter, folks. Nothing to worry about.
they're not bleeding capital. They will survive even without a digital assistant or something, or mobile phones. Can you just imagine how much money they would have had if Windows Phone managed to get even like 15% of the market?
I know. Because again, it's not just the direct phone sales,
Right? It's
which
everything.
phones for them especially is kind of a low margin business. But it would have been all the associated services and whatnot that go along with it. But right now, that's just you might as well go read a comic book, folks, because that's just a fantasy.
Yep.
Speaking of a fantasy, did you see the story this morning that Microsoft issued a report about digital assistants?
No,
You should look at this. It's comical. Because they go out there. It's like, what's the future of smart speakers? It's like consumers, what do they care about most when it comes to digital assistants? Like, can you think of any company that knows less about what consumers want in digital assistants than Microsoft?
Did they do this themselves, or did they farm it out to some company?
That's a good question. No, I think they use Bing Analytics or something to come up with the data. But
even better source of information.
I know. But they claim so of the four big digital assistants, they claim to be in fourth place. I'm not remembering the exact numbers, but Google Assistant and Siri were in first place, tied with 36% share. I think the figure was. Amazon Alexa was in third. That number I don't remember, but let's say it was 28, 20 something like that, 25 maybe. And then in fourth place was Cortana with, I believe, 19%, maybe 20 somehow, in using Microsoft Math. Probably the same guy that came up with the 330 million users of Microsoft Edge, which explains why they got rid of that product. It's going.
I totally forgot about that number, but if there was an inkling of truth to it, that would have.
I'm not going to point this person's name out. That would be unfair. I like them, but I will say that when I wrote my story about that 330 and how that was complete bullshit, I got like a little nastygram from someone at Microsoft, and they were like, "Are you saying we're lying?" And I'm saying, I am saying what I'm saying in the article. I can do math, and there is no way that there are 330 million active users of Edge. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This is terrible. They probably have to test it as it comes down the assembly line when they're building laptops. Like, that's probably one of the automated tests is like Open Edge.
Well, if you want to be cynical, you could make the argument that we're all an Edge user once when we used it to install Chrome, or you could make the argument, and I think there's some validity to this, that it is the default PDF reader, and it's a fine PDF reader. There's no real reason to change it from Edge. In fact, in some ways, it's kind of nice if you're using Chrome, let's say.
Yeah.
And you want to have PDFs open in a different application, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But reading a PDF is not really the point of the product,
Right.
It's, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some stupid example. It's like claiming that like a Tesla is one of the world's, most used radios because there's a radio in the car, and,
Yep.
It's just a goofy kind of side thing that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Microsoft never clarified that figure.
Can't imagine.
I feel like they did clarify it when they killed it.
Yeah. I will point out that the first quarter where they announced that they are dumping their own browser, they passed $1 trillion. So maybe
Coincidence?
Yeah. Just saying.
Well, actually, yes, but
well, since we're drawing unrealistic expectations about Edge usage, I'm going to draw the opposite. They switched it.
Yeah, maybe they could kill Cortana next month and hit $2 trillion.
Only one way to find out.
I'm not really a money guy, but
never. Anyways, good quarter for Microsoft. Things seem relatively bright, unless your name is Cortana. Yeah.
Well, Cortana does have a bright future. Unfortunately, it's only in the Halo series of video games.
Yeah.
Which, by my math, are coming out once every 7 years or something. I don't know what the slowdown is there, but. Hi, guys. You know that Call of Duty comes out with a new game every year, and Marvel Comics comes out with, 17 new movies every year?
Yeah, there's like a new one out now.
Yeah, maybe you could put out a Halo game every once in a while.
Well, the problem is some of them don't do so well, and I think they're
Yeah, but that would be less damaging if there were more of them, you know?
Just by dilution.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, look, I mean, some of the Call of Duty games weren't great, apparently, or did less well than others. I mean, it's okay because next year there's another one. You know, you can kind of move along. No, I don't know.
I don't. It's whatever.
Again, I'm not a money guy,
but you are a pink phone guy. Let's not.
Tan. It's tan. It's.
I can't wait to see this at Build. By the way,
I think you will agree that it's not embarrassingly pink. I don't know how to show it in a way that you can. It honestly looks kind of tan to me. I don't know, how do I make the color? I don't think there's ever going to be an angle where you're like, see, there it is. It's pink. Why is it so bright too?
You can kind of see it there. A little pink hue.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Oh yeah. That's why you're putting.
I did have to cover it up before I took it to the gym today. I didn't want, God forbid, some big muscly guy points at me from across the gym.
Is that a pink phone?
Is that a pink phone there, Nancy? Hey?
Yep. So, well, tomorrow's Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. Once 1 week, you got to be. Well, you're going to Boston tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah. So 1 week from today, I'm going to Vancouver.
I was going to say I knew you were going up a little bit early.
Yeah. And then I'm driving down on Sunday. So I assume you're flying in Sunday, right? Early.
Yeah, my flight leaves Cincinnati at 7 a.m., which is a direct flight, and I land in Seattle at 8 a.m.
Right. Thanks to the magic of time zones.
Which
I don't know. I'll let you know, obviously, when I know. But I bet I won't be there till the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, because there's usually a thing in the evening, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we have to be there for that for sure. But I mean, it's a surprisingly long drive. You would think that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was all that far.
An hour north. It's at least 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
it might be more than 3.
And then you got to deal with well, there shouldn't be too much traffic on a Sunday.
Right. Anyway, I'll cross that continent when I get to it. For this weekend, I'm driving to Boston in the morning, like really early in the morning, so I can be there in time to do the podcast, not in a car. So that's my goal.
Convenient.
Yep. I will be doing Ask Paul. I already put that on the site, but I'll do it in the afternoon because I won't be around in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do short takes tonight. It's not really going to impact you all that much, is what I'm saying. In fact, if I never mentioned it, you probably wouldn't have even noticed. Other than the fact I guess I'll be out tomorrow morning. But
it's what I like to hear. So, all right, folks. So that wraps it up for today. This has been another Pink Phone Edition Daily, and we'll catch you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can find all that information on Threat.com or in the YouTube channel or wherever else you find us. Have a good one.